You gotta do the whole.
There it goes.
There you go. Ready, Ricardo? Are we ready? Okay, let's go. Rialto Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education agenda, February the 22nd, 2023 at the Dr. John Casaluna Education Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Any individual who require disability-related accommodation or modification and
Testing. I don't think your mic's on.
They don't work, Zaira. Side effect.
okay. Any individual, I hear it now. Yeah. Any individual who require disability-related accommodation or modification, including auxiliary aids and services in order to participate in a board meeting, should contact the superintendent designee in writing. Call to order at 6:01, open session. Closed session. As provided by law, the following are the items for discussion and consideration at the closed session of the board meeting. Public employee, employee discipline dismissal, release, reassignment of employee, Government Code Section 54957, student expulsion, reinstatement, expulsion enrollment, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representative, Dr. Avila, superintendent, Rhonda Kramer, lead personnel agent, Roxanne Dominguez, lead personnel agent, and Armando, what? Utiega. Is he
There you
here?
go.
All right, thank you.
Roll that on, girl.
Employment Organization, California School Employment, Chapter 203, Rialto Education Association, REA, and Communication Workers of America, CWA. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, Point 9D and or D3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure litigation, potential claim 1. Comments on the closed session agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any items on the closed session agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Is there a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote by board members. Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
Mr. Montez,
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly,
Aye.
and Stephanie Lewis,
Mike just
president.
came on.
Time is 6:03.
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis, aye. And the time is 7:04. Open session reconvene at 7:04. Mr. Martinez, will you?
Tonight, we have a special performance from Eubanks Elementary School. But first, let's have Sierra Fernandez lead us in the pledge. Well done. When you're ready.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you, Sierra. Now, led by Mr. Hector Robles Ramirez, fourth grade teacher, our students will present Change Sings, a children's anthem poem by Amanda Gorman.
Black History Month is a time when we pay tribute to the triumphs of African American people throughout our nation. As we celebrate Black History Month, the members of Eubanks Elementary Student Council would like to share a story with you about being the change in the world we want to see. Change Sings is a book by Amanda Gorman. In it, she reminds us that anything is possible if we work together.
I can hear change coming in its loudest, proudest song. I don't fear change coming, and so I sing along. I scream with the skies of red and blue streamers.
I dream with the cries of tried and true dreamers. I'm a change that rises and rings. There is hope when my change sings.
Those who don't understand it, those who know the mystery. I sing with all the planet and full of history. I hum with 100 hearts, each of us listening here.
I use my strings and my smarts to take a beat and make a stand. I ride as a light each day brings, then love till my change sings.
I show the sun, that I might take some courage. I don't make a taller fence, but fight to build a better bridge. I talk not only of distances, from where and how we came. I also watch the differences to show we are the same. As a movement that raises the springs, there's a wave my change sings. Change sings where? There, inside me.
Because I'm the change I want to see. As I grow, it grows like seeds. I am just what the world needs. I'm the voice where freedom moves. You're the love that bright heart dreams.
We are the waves starting to spring, for we are the change we see. We're what the world is becoming, and we know it won't be long. We can all hear change strumming. Won't you sing along? Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful performance. Thank you, students. Mr. Robles Ramirez, Mrs. Mindy Enns, Miss Diana Avila, and Principal Dr. Daniel Osandawike
All
for
right.
attending tonight's school board meeting, and of course, all our families for supporting our students and the spectacular performance. Got more. Go Huskies.
Was awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna read it to my boys.
Okay. Is there a report out of closed session?
Yes, there's President Lewis. The Board of Education accepted the request for an unpaid leave of absence for classified employee number 2611823 from February 15, 2023 through August 3rd, 2023. The roll call vote was as follows. Stephanie Lewis, yes. Nancy G. O'Kelly, no. Joseph W. Martinez, yes. Evelyn P. Dominguez, yes. Edgar Montes, yes.
Wait, which one was that one?
On the request for leave of absence.
To approve the request?
No, to approve the request, not the staff's recommendation, correct.
So,
Okay. Any further items to report out of closed session?
That is all. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to move to adoption of agenda, but the following items in the personnel consent item section, page 79, on the open agenda will be pulled from the agenda. And it's for Anne resignation, Ann Samolsky, speech therapist. Then we have the following items will be pulled from tonight's agenda. The business and financial consent item, it's E3.24, approve comprehensive school safety plan, 2022 to 2023. We're pulling those two items from the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda with these two items being pulled?
So moved.
second.
Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Stephanie Lewis, aye. Presentations.
Next, we go to,
Is this my water?
yes. B1 Middle School District Student Advisory Committee, DSAC. And our student board member could not make it here tonight, but we will go ahead and read off our DSAC student speakers, beginning with, from Rialto Middle School, Nevaya Reyes.
Good evening, Board President Lewis, esteemed Board of Education, Superintendent Avila, and members of listening audience. RMS is celebrating African American History Month with tons of exciting activities. ASB hosted a door decorating contest to bring awareness to all contributions African Americans have had on our culture. We also hosted one of our legendary Spirit Weeks celebrating Black history and social justice. Miss Q, our inspirational librarian, is providing a Black History Month raffle for the month of February. Any student who checks out a book by an African American author or about Black African American history will be entered in a raffle to win an Amazon or Barnes & Noble gift card. We had our first Alex All-Star celebration coordinated by our amazing math coach, Ms. Kapala. Our wonderful district math team worked with nutrition services to provide ice cream and cookies for our deserving students. Way to live that math life, Tigers. The students' hearts were beating out on the dance floor as they had tons of fun at You Make My Heart Glow Valentine's Dance. This exciting glow-in-the-dark dance was first of many activities we plan to have post-pandemic. Last week on Valentine's Day, some of our students received a special gift from a friend, a Valentine's gram. So that no one was left out, everyone was given a gram from the hearts of RMS ASB. Huge shout out to our boys and girls basketball teams for their winning streak. They are working hard on bringing that championship home. You better watch out because our Tigers are undefeated.
All
We are
right.
RMS Tigers and we roar with integrity. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Next, we go to Leila Olmedo from Kolb Middle School.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, President Lewis, and the viewing audience. My name is Leila Meadow, and I'm the proud ASB ambassador of the Mighty Kolb Cougars. Since my last board report, our Cougars have welcomed our new principal, Mrs. Tina Lingenfelter, back to Cougar Country. Mrs. Lingenfelter is a lifelong Cougar as she attended Kolb as a middle school student. She inspired our Cougars every day with her positive spirit and always having a good attitude. Earlier this month, Kolb was awarded as a California and National School to Watch. We are very proud in Cougar Country. Kolb had an incentive field trip to Knott's Berry Farm on February 8th. Students who sold 3 or more chocolate boxes during our school fundraiser got to attend. Our students and chaperones had a blast on this field trip. ASB had a successful Valentine's Week with multiple opportunities to spread love in Cougar Country. Students could write personalized notes to friends and teachers during lunch, and they can also purchase plushies and heart messages. All Valentine's grams were delivered on Valentine's to make our students and staff feel appreciated. This week, our ASB team is hosting a Black History Month Spirit Week with daily lunch activities. Our morning announcements also had a daily Black History Month lessons. Let's continue to celebrate Black excellence all year long. Lastly, our elective programs are busy recruiting for next year's classes. Both ASB and AVID applications are out and due at the end of February. Thank you for the opportunity to share all the amazing things happening in Cougar Country. Cougars, always loud and proud.
Next, we go to Frisbee Middle School, Brandon Martinez.
Good evening, Board of Education, Board President Lewis, and Superintendent Avila, and viewers. Hello, I'm Brandon Dominguez, ASB Treasurer, and I'm an 8th grader at Frisbee Middle School. Quite a bit of things have been happening at Frisbee Middle School. Frisbee has continued our after-school tutoring program and has been splendid, as quite a few students have been going and getting the help they need. Frisbee is having a Spirit Week. It goes along with our Valentine's dance this Friday. Today's Spirit Day was spreading love wearing pink or red, but other days included Cupid's Match, where students would be matching outfits with another student. Cupid's Error, wearing a mismatched outfit and just to impress. Our dance is Friday, and we were very excited on the fact that a lot of students signed permission slips to attend the dance. The dance's entry cost is $5 but includes complimentary pizza from Big T's, a beverage, and a dessert. The soccer season is starting soon. We are going to hold tryouts for both boys and girls soccer teams in March. We recently had a Black History Month door decorating contest, and we are going to judge the results next Monday. Frisbee's 8th graders have recently gone on a field trip to Eisenhower High School and Rialto High School to allow students that will be attending these high schools see what they have to offer and even sign up for classes and clubs for next incoming school year. Students that will be attending Carter High School will also be receiving the same experience and services that were provided at the other high schools tomorrow. That's been the overall gist of what has been happening at Frisbee. It has been a pleasure to be here to tell you about it. Go Falcons.
Yeah.
Good job. Next, we go to Casera Middle School, Melanie Quinones.
Good evening, Board of Education, President Lewis, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. I'm Melanie Quinones, ASB President at Casera Middle School. This month, we had an incredibly successful college kickoff week. The most popular event was the college walk that took place in the NPR, and students won prizes for competing in the scavenger hunt. The Casera counselors and ASB planned to join the pack days. The future Coyotes from Dunn, Dullahan, Fitzgerald, and Cordiac visited Casera yesterday and today. When students got off the bus, they were welcomed by staff and students. They received campus tours, and played team building activities. They got to experience middle school lunch and choose elective classes for next year. The 5th grade students reported that lunch was awesome and that they loved getting to see the esports classroom. Our 8th grade students have been visiting high school campuses as well. The future Eagles went to Eisenhower last week, and future Lions will be going to Carter tomorrow. This month, our students were involved in getting Valentine grams and giving them and participating in our Valentine Spirit Week. The Spirit Week days were dressed to impress. Wednesdays we wore pink, with Twin Day and Disney Day. We will also be having our Spring Luau on Tuesday, March 7th before we leave for spring break. Thank you. I'm Melanie Keon representing Casera Middle School. Go Coyotes!
And then last but not least, Jehu Middle School. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, DSAC speakers.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to move on to B2, fiscal year 2021 through 2022, annual audit financial report. Presentation by Andrew Park.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm here to present the results of the audit, and we're a little bit far away from 21-22, but hopefully, do you have copies of the audit report and all the documents that were provided? Okay, awesome. So even before I begin my presentation, I just want to kind of preface in terms of what we do for the board. I actually work for the board. Spoke to Mr. Montez, and we had a pretty good conversation last year. But
Don't you forget it.
I work for the board, and I technically report directly to the board. All the correspondences, including the audit report, is addressed to the board, not to your management. Okay, so just to make it very clear, my primary responsibility is what you would call an overall financial auditor. I'm not here to do any type of targeted audit, in terms of your budget or your allegations of fraud and whatnot. I'm what's called an overall financial auditor. My primary responsibility is to audit a document called unaudited actuals. Now, if you recall back in September of 22, you were presented that information, and that basically is the district's financial statement in an unaudited form. My job is to come in, audit the information, and present the results. So here I am. Okay? So with the audit report, the thicker document, there should be an enclosed letter addressed to the board. So if you don't want to read the audit report and its contents, you go through the letter, and basically it summarizes the results of the audit. What it also does is, while it addresses the results of the audit, it also does two additional things that's not addressed in the audit. It's first is whether or not we had any difficulties during the course of the audit, and whether or not we had any disagreements with your management. I am happy to report that there were no disagreements or difficulties that we encountered during the course of the 21-22 fiscal year's audit. Now, moving on to the audit report itself, it's the thicker document. Now, I always mention this is a technical document, and there's really no expectation to go through and understand every bits and pieces of this audit report. But at a minimum, as members of the governing board, you should at least know how the audit went. And the best way to do that is to refer to page 101 and 102 of the audit report. I'll wait a little bit until you flip to the pages. Okay, looks like everybody's there. But on this page, it basically summarizes the results of all the audit procedures that we perform. It's literally the summary of auditor's report. Now, before I get into the result of the audit, I'd like to provide some technical definition as far as what some of these terminologies mean. So as a professional, just like your attorney, we render an opinion when it comes to an audit, right? And we do this by varying levels. Highest level of assurance is what we would call an unmodified report, followed by a qualified report, and lastly, disclaimer or an adverse opinion. Okay? So again, unmodified being the highest, and this is basically synonymous with clean. Okay? So just at a minimum, keep that in mind, please. On this page, there's three sections. There's three key areas that we audit on an annual basis. I'll begin with the financial statements. When it comes to the financial statements, we're focused in on 21-22 fiscal year with the cutoff of June 30, 2022. Okay? Now let's go through the results. Our opinion was unmodified with respect to Rialto Unified School District's financial statement as of June 30, 2022. During the course of the audit, we did identify some deficiencies. They're basically in the following pages after page 102. Hopefully you had an opportunity to review the findings. Moving through, second huge area that we audit is on your federal compliance. This is basically starting with the header of federal awards. Now, almost towards the second half of the page, there's a comprehensive list of all the programs that we audited or we were required to audit during 21-22. Based on the audit procedures that we performed on each of the listed programs here, our opinion was unmodified with respect to the district's compliance with these federal programs, okay? We also did not identify any type of deficiencies to ensure compliance with all of these programs, okay? So it was a clean opinion, in other words. And lastly, on page 102, there's a header of state compliance. Now, in case you're curious, there's actually a set number of programs that we audit on an annual basis. And again, this is not something that I choose. This is chosen by the State Controller's Office and CDE. They basically tell us what to audit and give us the exact steps in terms of how to achieve our audit objectives, okay? And those are identified on page 98 and 99. If you could quickly refer to those pages. Okay. So on page 98 and 99, you're going to see some yes notations and no see below notations. Yes notations indicate that we did perform the audit procedure because the district either received the funds or had the program implemented, right? And as a result, we had to automatically, by default, perform the audit procedures. No see below means that the district did not administer the program or did not receive the funds, and as a result, there was no audit requirement. So based on the yes notated programs, our opinion overall was unmodified. However, we did identify a compliance issue with your unduplicated local control funding formula pupil counts, okay? And again, the details of that finding is in the accompanying pages after page 102.
And that's being remedied, correct?
Yes, and
We'll have time for discussion later.
sure.
We'll continue.
Yeah, so that pretty much summarizes the results of the audit. Overall, it was an unmodified opinion in each of the three areas, with some exceptions that I have to report as your auditor.
Do we have any questions?
Comment?
Comment? Ms. Martinez?
Okay, let me find the amount here. I appreciate your notifying us that you found money. And I like the amount very much. You could double it or triple it any time. $6,176,813 to the general fund for the public, and student activity special revenue non-major governmental fund, $62,199 also for the public knowledge. Not only were we clean, but they found us some money. I like that any day.
I have a question on page 4. What can we do for the custodial credit risk correction plan?
Page.
Yeah.
Is it on the bigger document, Madam?
Yes, it's it had to do with the banking, and it wasn't
yes.
secured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully, so FDIC insures any account up to $250.
Right.
That custodial,
250,000.
yes. Thank you. So what that disclosure is stating that is that Rialto Unified School District as a whole has funds sitting in an account in excess of $250,000,
Right.
and as a result is subject to what we would call a custodial credit risk. Just in case the bank goes belly up, that money is up for a risk, right?
So do we have plans to change that, or what's the corrective action for that?
Diane.
Good evening, Board. The only course of action that we have is to pledge assets against those accounts. There's no other insurance that we can purchase. It would just have some sort of backing to that account if the bank does go into default.
Okay. And what is your recommendation?
And
Since you-
generally, that's what we would see. So basically what Ms. Romo is referring to is that bank could actually, you could get into an agreement with your financial institution, and the bank could pledge additional assets above and beyond the $250,000 that's covered. And that's the typical mechanism that we see. The alternative is to split it into million accounts.
Right, that wouldn't be helpful.
Which is not generally fees
not
from
easy.
an
And is
operations
that the direction that you plan to take, Ms. Frum?
Yeah, the accounts that are at most at risk are the high school ASB accounts.
Okay.
And we do have a higher balance than normal because during COVID, those funds accumulated.
Okay.
So as the high schools start to spend down the funds on the current students, we'll see that we'll fall below the 250.
Okay. And so just let us know, maybe at next board, as we review, if you decide to ensure that. My other question was on page 100, internal control over the internal control. You sort of outlined that we didn't have sort of like an internal check and balance system. Is that something that we're going to be working on? That was a recommendation on page 100.
Yes, so this has to do with your finding related to state compliance. So generally, the way we perceive things as your independent auditor is that if something goes wrong, the checks and balances are either inadequate or not properly set up, or there's a lack of, right? So there was a fall audit of some sort, right? So it goes hand in hand, right? So I believe there was a corrective action plan that's already devised by your management, and it's going to be within the contents of, let's see, it'll be on page 107. That's a detailed plan of your management's corrective action plan in response to the finding that I wrote.
I thought it was more general. This was one particular case, but that's something that the cabinet will probably sort of flesh out and get back to us. Thank you for bringing up all these anticipatory issues and good report. Any other discussions, questions?
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good job to our district, too, for
Yes, thank you.
doing a good job.
Okay, next, we're going to go to B.3,
you.
general obligation bonds. Measure Y, financial and performance audit for the fiscal year. Oh.
Welcome back.
And we change hats.
Glad to be here again.
Yes.
So, so now I'm going to present the smaller report.
Okay.
And I'll present this one rather quickly. This one isn't as, there isn't a lot of information. So this report is basically a two-part report. What we do on this report is we basically take your Fund 21, your building fund information, where all your Measure Y funds are housed, and we do a twofold audit. First half is what we would call a typical financial statement audit that we performed on your district, but we basically scale our audit a lot further down so that we kind of accommodate the numbers. We're not talking about hundreds of millions here, just a couple million here and there, right? And then the second half is what we would, in our industry, call performance audit, which is synonymous with compliance audit, okay? So I'm going to go through the results rather quickly. So with respect to the financial statements tied to your Measure Y funds as of June 30, 2022, our opinion was unmodified, okay? We believe that the financial statements related to Measure Y as of June 30, 2022 are fairly stated in all material specs, okay? We also did not identify any type of checks and balances or what we would call internal control deficiencies related to the preparation of the Measure Y financial statements, okay? And then moving on to the second half of the report, let's see. I'm just going to quickly talk about page 17. So again, second half of the report is basically what we would traditionally call a performance audit. Now, in the scope of a bond performance audit, we basically set out to answer the question of, did the district take the proceeds and spend the money in accordance to what the voters wanted, okay? I forgot when this was passed. I believe it was fairly recently. But the voters actually voted so that, the funds, when you do issue debt, they're used for very specific purpose. My job is to ensure that those funds are used for those purposes, right? And when it comes to compliance audit, it's either yes or no, okay? To give you some statistical information here, we audited $609,140, and this is, in case you're curious, this is on page 17 of the bond audit report. This represents 89% of the total spent during 21-22 fiscal year. And based on the audit procedures that we perform from a compliance standpoint, we believe that the district spent all the proceeds that were tested in accordance to what the voters have approved. Okay, so we don't really have anything to report to the board with respect to the district's compliance.
Thank you. Any comments, question, discussion? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I like to, when you're doing these fiscal audit, I want to thank our fiscal team and our lead agent and our superintendent, because you have to follow the money, see what you spent. And the projects that measure why could be, if you want to know, they're probably listed on our website. Next, we will have a presentation by the District Tutoring Hubs. Mr. Perez, Agent Expanded Learning Program. Oh, so I'm not in it?
Test, okay. Good evening, Board President Ms. Lewis, board members, Superintendent Dr. Avila, innovation team, students, parents, community, and all our viewing audience tonight. My name is Norberto Perez, and I am the proud agent of Expanded Learning Programs for Rialto Unified School District. I am honored to be present tonight to present on our amazing tutoring services. Based on a publication by the United States Department of Education, publication title, Evidence That Tutoring Works, published in 2001, the following is a small excerpt highlighting how tutoring helps students. Research has consistently shown that well-designed tutoring programs are effective in improving children's skills. Students with below average reading skills who are tutored show significant gains in reading skills when compared with similar students who do not receive tutoring. Students who are tutored often demonstrate higher self-esteem and positive attitudes towards school. My presentation tonight will highlight RUSD's free tutoring services, how to access the services, celebrate current usage data, and will provide statement testimonials directly from students and tutors. Rialto Unified offers two types of free tutoring programs. The first program is an in-person tutoring program available through our new Tutoring Hub schools. They are located in the North, Central, and South regions of Rialto. A total of 9 hubs provide services after school for 2 hours daily, Monday through Friday. The second program is an online live tutoring program available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. RUSD has partnered with Varsity Tutors, an online tutoring company, in order to provide unlimited online support to students from any location. Tutoring hub locations were identified strategically in order to allow access to all students, based on region, surrounding schools' proximity, and grade level. In the North region, we have the following: Fitzgerald Elementary, Cusera Middle School, and Carter High School. In the Central region, we have Henry Elementary, Frisbee Middle School, and Eisenhower High School. In the South region, we have Boyd Elementary, J. Hugh Middle School, and Rialto High School. The tutoring hubs are operated by our very own RUSD amazing teachers. Each hub has been assigned a balanced set of teachers in order to have an expert teacher in each course subject. Currently, we have the following teachers working as after-school tutors: 16 English teachers, 12 math teachers, 11 science teachers, 15 social studies teachers, 10 teachers with special education background, and 14 bilingual teachers. Thank you. I would like to give a special thanks to all of the teachers who are working as tutors. They are all doing an amazing job. Additionally, to REA, Rialto Education Association, for supporting and helping to promote. The following 3 slides identify the schools that are official hubs, region location, tutoring service location, and hours of operation. In the North region, we have Fitzgerald Elementary. The tutoring hub is located in the library. The hours of operation is 2:35 to 4:35 p.m. Cusera Middle School, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Carter High School, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 3:45 to 5:45 p.m. In the Central region, we have the following. Henry Elementary, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 2:45 to 4:45 p.m. Frisbee Middle School, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eisenhower High School, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 3:45 to 5:45 p.m. In the South region, we have the following. Boyd Elementary, tutoring hub is located in the Parent Center. Hours of operation is 2:35 to 4:35 p.m. J. Hugh Middle School, tutoring hub is located in the library. Hours of operation is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And last but not least, Rialto High School, tutoring hub is the Great Hall. Hours of operation is 3:45 to 5:45 p.m. Hubs, assigned tutors, access, and procedures. 1. Each hub has been assigned 4 tutors and 1 lead tutor to assist students. 2. Hub services are completely free and are available on demand. No appointment is needed. Any student, district-wide, can access a hub school in any region of their choice. The hub school must simply be the same grade level the student currently is in. 3. Students will use their school ID to access a hub. If a student does not have an ID, the lead tutor will be able to verify the student via Synergy, or District Information Database. And 4, all sites have been assigned tutors who are bilingual and have a background in special education. The second program is our online tutoring. The following slides will provide information on how students can access free online tutoring via Varsity Tutors. In partnership with Varsity Tutors, Varsity provides unlimited real-time tutoring services via text-to-text platform. Services are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Varsity provides tutoring assistance on homework, projects, essay writing, and a vast variety of subjects. So how do students access Varsity Tutors online? It is very simple. Students utilize their issued district Clever account to launch Varsity. Once launched, the student simply clicks on the Varsity icon. The following slides will show the easy steps on how to use Varsity. Once the student launches Clever, the students will see the following screen. The student then clicks on the Varsity icon. Once Varsity launches, the student clicks on Chat with a Tutor icon. Once the Chat with a Tutor page launches, the student then enters the following information. 1. Student enters what subject and type of help is needed. 2. Student clicks Chat with a Tutor now. And 3. Varsity searches for a tutor, which takes about 1 to 5 minutes, and then the tutor comes online. Once the session begins, the left side of the screen holds the text-to-text chat. The screen you see is an example of a session. The right of the screen is the digital whiteboard, in which the student and tutor can communicate back and forth. Additionally, student and tutor are able to upload any document needed. Students can upload a worksheet directly to a tutor and vice versa. It is that simple. Students now have unlimited access for help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no time limitation. Varsity Tutor provides assistance in 200+ courses. The following is a sample of some of the courses: chemistry, calculus, AP classes, essay writing, science, and many more. Promotion. Promotion of a program is essential to its success. The following slides will highlight the extensive promotion launched in order to ensure our students take advantage of the available services. A dedicated webpage has been created for tutoring services. It provides detailed information on how to access any of the services. A QR code was created to simplify access to the webpage. Our promotional material contains the QR code and is available in English and Spanish. Every school identified as a hub received and had installed an official plaque in order to identify the school as an official RUSD tutoring hub school. Ground signs, or also known as yard signs, were issued to every school. The signs were placed strategically on student and parents' path of travel. Additionally, banners have been hung strategically to promote walking and street traffic. Classroom posters in large and small sizes were delivered to every school. Teachers are now able to promote and refer students to tutoring. Flyers have been printed and distributed to students and families. And my personal favorite, magnets. Students receive magnets to take home and place them in the refrigerator. This allows for easy access. I am sure we could all relate the traffic refrigerators gets at home. Additionally, promotion is currently displayed via digital billboards in Rialto. Tutoring services are being promoted on the 210 and Ayala Drive and Riverside Avenue and San Bernardino Avenue. Frequently asked questions. FAQs. The webpage contains an FAQ section to ease inquiry to any of the services. It is updated with new questions as they are received. The following are a sample of FAQs. Does a student have to be enrolled in Rialto USD to use the tutoring services? Yes, it is only for current Rialto USD students. 2, do students have to attend a hub in order to access the online tutoring service? No, students can access the online tutoring service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from any location. And 3, can students access online tutoring service from home? Yes, students can access the tutoring service from any location utilizing their district-issued Clever account. Current data. I'm ecstatic to report the current usage data. The tutoring program officially launched December 5th, 2022. The data below reflects usage up to early February. In-person hubs, we have had 2,156 students utilize the service with 3,653 sessions completed. Online tutoring via Varsity Tutors, we have had 1,405 students utilize the service with 2,528 sessions completed.
Yes. Good job.
The following are a few examples of tutoring testimonials that have been received. Oh my God, I can get help anytime I need help now. This is amazing. I wish this was available last year. Eisenhower High School student. Promotion of the program was excellent. You can even see the advertisement in the soup, DLAC parent participant. Thank you so much for providing the service. My daughter is now able to get support late at night, parent via phone call. I love coming to the Tutoring Hub Center. It allows me to be in my own space, own time, and help is there. Carter High School student. Additionally, present today, I have Eisenhower's lead tutor, Ms. Griselda Montoya, Brian Czar, and Eileen Lopez, who are students utilizing the tutoring services. They are here today to add live testimonials. Additionally, I have a tutor from Fitzgerald, Ms. Raquel Fuentes, also to give a testimonial. Ms. Montoya?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Griselda Montoya, and I am one of the faculty leads at Eisenhower High School. Varsity Tutors provides every Eisenhower student with a 24/7 accessible tutoring platform. Along with Varsity Tutors, Eisenhower provides in-person tutoring from 3:45 to 5:45. Our team's objective is to meet our students' diverse needs with expert support. Our renovated library accommodates a significant number of students using the Tutoring Hub daily. Our students are making the library an academic hub where they come for academic support, engagement and collaboration, and valuable skills. Thank you, Dr. Avila and Mr. Perez, for providing this opportunity for our students. Thank you, Principal Dr. Camacho and Assistant Principal Mrs. Enriquez Pulido, for your strong leadership and support. I would like to thank the team as well. Now I'd like to introduce two of our students that make Ike's Tutoring Hub their own, Eileen Lopez and Brian Czar.
Good evening, everyone. I am Brian Czar, a student at Eisenhower High School. I have been assisting Tutoring Hub at Eisenhower for about a month now. And it's been a good experience for me because the library, the environment at the library, it's like I'm able to focus more on the work I'm working on. I'm able to get more done than I would be if I were just working at home. The distractions, I would be distracted more than I am at the library, and it's quiet. It's a good environment to work in, and the varsity tutoring program, I personally haven't used it, but I've heard from friends that have been getting assistance through varsity tutoring, and they've told me it's helped them a lot with the work they've done. I would like to thank the Eisenhower High School staff for helping us out, always being there for us. They're walking around asking questions if we need any support with anything, and I know that if I'm going to need it, they will help me out.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Eileen Lopez. I am a senior at Eisenhower High School, and I've been using the Tutoring Hub for about 2 months now. I have a very busy schedule. I have practice most days, and I don't have time to work on homework or any class assignments when I get home. So having the Tutoring Hub there from the hours of 3:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon, it gives me that reserved time to get what I need done. And I am able to stay on top of my work. I'm able to stay focused with the quiet environment, and I have taken advantage of the varsity tutor online. I have encouraged a cousin of mine to use it as well because we don't have help at home because our parents have been away from school for a long time, or they don't have time because they're busy with work. I would especially like to thank the staff there that is always offering us help walking around even if we don't ask it. Sometimes we are too scared to ask for that help, so them being there, coming forward to us, it really does help us. And I would also like to thank the people who made having the Tutoring Hub possible, because it has helped many students, not just myself. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good evening. My name is Raquel Fuentes. I am the lead tutor at Fitzgerald. And I'm here to thank you, board members, Dr. Avila, Mr. Perez, for providing this service to our students. We have a lot of parents up in the north area that are Spanish-speaking parents, and they find themselves in a difficult position when it comes to helping their students, especially with reading. So we have had a lot of parents who have come in and they're like, I can't pronounce the words correctly. I don't know how to help them. One of them was like, oh, thank you so much for helping my daughter with fractions. I tried helping her when she got them all wrong. So I'm glad that we have somebody here that can help them with fractions and such problems. So it's been great. Our numbers have been growing tremendously to the point where I was just talking to Mr. Perez and I asked if we could have another tutor coming in because we have many, many students coming in. So it's a great service that we are providing to our community, and I'm grateful and thankful that I'm part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Montoya, Ms. Fuentes, and students. This concludes my presentation for tonight. I kindly thank everyone for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. The board feels so strongly about this program. The members are going to be going to our surrounding communities with the cabinet. Ms. Dominguez is going to go to Colton.
Yes.
City Council. Mr. Montez is going to go to Fontana. Mr. Martinez will be going to San Bernardino. And the superstar of the board, Ms. O'Kelly, will go to the city of Rialto, because Kumon and all these other places are so expensive. We're offering top notch. This is our goal for academic excellence, and there's no excuse now. So 24, and so we're really stronger. So I guess we have the money we found in the budget, gonna have to figure out some more tutoring. So our site's gonna be crowded, and that's a good problem to have.
Right.
And I have one more testimonial that was sent to me directly from a family member of our very own city council. It says, "Good evening, board member. I want to let you know that my daughter really enjoys the online 24/7 tutoring. Great job bringing resources to our kids in the community. It really helps us parents a lot, especially when we're ourselves are having difficulty with high school math." So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to add that I do take my son to the tutoring hubs, and they also get snacks. So that is an incentive for the younger kids, that they get snacks, because seriously, Logan goes just for the snacks.
Alrighty.
Could the board get a hard copy of the presentation?
Oh, definitely.
Thank you. Mr. Newbert, I have a question for you. When you say that it says completed cases, what do you mean by that?
So, can't remember the exact numbers, but I believe I said something like 2,000, let's
Yes.
call it 2,100 students have received the service, have gained access to the service, but 2,800 completed sessions means that there's returnees. So it's the same student, but there's a gap that they're returnees using the program over and over again.
Got it.
That's the difference.
Perfect.
Okay, well, we have thank you so much. Thank you, students, for, the power. Encourage your friends.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you.
So we're going to move on to B5, and this is exciting. The 2022-23 Rub-a-thon competition winners.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Board of Education, President Lewis, Dr. Avila. I'm Patricia Chavez, Lead Innovation Agent. And tonight I'm proud to be presenting on a recent Rub-a-thon event held at Rialto High School. My co-presenters tonight here with me is Dr. Caroline Sweeney, Principal of Rialto High School, Ms. Jennifer Cuevas, Principal from Cusera Middle School, and Ms. Kathleen Schreiref. I know she's going to, is she around? And she is a teacher from Myers Elementary, and she also has the cutest scholars here to help her with her presentation. So before I invite my colleagues to share their experiences from the day's event, I'd like to share a very brief video with you all.
I'm so excited to be at this Goldberg Rub-a-thon today. Myers, first place in the elementary category. They did awesome. Cusera did awesome or worked yet to plan. All day event, fantastic.
We spent lunch times going over who Rube Goldberg is, what he was known for, and going over simple machines and how they work.
Well, we had an exciting event today, the Rub-a-thon competition. It was a new format. We piloted it this year, and it was very exciting. I was happy, really excited about the turnout that we had. We get a lot of positive feedback. We're looking forward to possibly hosting this again next year, having more teams, making it a bigger event, making it more of a family event.
During the competition, we were like kind of scrambled all over the place, and it felt out of line because we didn't really know our plan at first, so we were just putting it together. But we added a cool door, and I think that might have done something, but overall I was panicked, but I liked it.
And I was a bit nervous mostly the whole time, but overall it was very fun.
During the competition I wasn't too stressed, but I was honestly really surprised when we got first place.
Really proud of the kids. I don't think they knew what they were capable of, and now they do.
And at first when we came here, I was like really nervous and I didn't really think we were gonna win, but we won, so yay.
When we first got here, I was really nervous. I didn't think we would win. I thought we would like be the worst team, and we got first place.
Yay! Woo!
So as everyone can see, we have some amazing scholars here in Rialto Unified. We swept the day of the event and we just won on all categories. So we're really, really proud of our scholars. So for those of you that do not know what a Rub-a-thon is and a Rub-a-thon event is, I have Dr. Caroline Sweeney that is going to give us a little bit of history about the event, how long it's been going on, and then provide a little insight as to the actual day's event. After that, Ms. Cuevas is going to give us her perspective on her school site and what her kids went through, what they won, how many years they've been going through the competition. And like I said, we'll have the adorable team from Myers kind of finish this presentation out. Dr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Dr. Chavez. Thank you, Board of Education, for having us here, Dr. Avila. I am the super proud principal of Rialto High School. Normally right here, the person that you would have presenting for us is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Michael Thompson. And Mr. Michael Thompson had to be extraordinary dad today to his child who had a birthday today. So I'm glad he prioritized that. So I get to be here and I get to tell you all the details about this competition in Rialto High School. Rube Goldberg, as you can see on the screen, it's a competition, it's a STEAM competition that fuses engineering, critical thinking, and creativity. For those of you that need it put a little bit differently, if you've ever played the game Mousetrap, that's what Rube Goldberg is. Pretty much what it is you start with a marble that begins at one end and ends at another, and you want to get it there in the most inefficient way possible. You don't want it to go from here to here. You want it to go from here to here to here to here to here to here, spin, and land there. That's what your goal is. And the more steps you can make, the more convoluted way you can do it, the better you do on the Rube Goldberg machine. So it's a chain reaction that solves a simple problem. Okay, Rube Goldberg Institute has hosted national competitions for over 30 years, and Rialto Unified students have participated in those since 2018. Since Rialto Unified students have began competing, they have won numerous regional and national awards in this competition. We have sent multiple teams from multiple levels to the nationals. And in 2020 is actually the first year that Rialto High School did their first Rube Goldberg competition. Right before pandemic hit, we put it on and we were super proud. On February 4th, 2023, it was a Saturday, we hosted the first of this version of Rube Goldberg. So what Rube Goldberg used to be is it used to be middle schools, elementary schools, and high schools would spend months working on lessons to create a machine that they would then bring to a competition and show off that machine. So depending on how much prep work you had, time, those type of things. We changed it this year because one of the hardest things was it almost became inequitable that students weren't able to get their machines to the locations of the competition, because if you've ever seen these machines, they're very large, unless you create a very small one. So what we did at Rialto High School is we worked out to Rube Goldberg, and when I say we, I need to be clear, Mr. Michael Thompson. Mr. Michael Thompson reached out to the Rube Goldberg competition. He said, you know what, why don't we create it differently? Why don't we bring all the people to one site, and they will create it there. We will give them an extended amount of time, 8 hours, whatever you can create in 8 hours being there is what you're gonna do. So Mr. Thompson and his team brought in everything imaginable, light bulbs, chairs, buckets, you name it, to create these inefficient teams. We had 19 teams compete from 17 schools, okay? And the amount of time you got on your machine depended on level. So elementary might get 4 hours, middle school got 6 hours, high schoolers got 8 hours to create their different machines. And at the end of the day, when all was said and done, and we got adjudicated by judges that were brought in by San Bernardino County Schools and by Rube Goldberg, Rialto High School won the high school competition. You saw it in the video. We're super proud. That was actually a freshman team full of 4 ladies and a male, and bless their heart, the look on their face when they got the competition. The middle school winner was Kusera Middle School, and the elementary school winner was Myers Elementary, and they're going to be showing you their machine today. What we didn't know, and we were super excited, and we had an idea, but it didn't happen till the day of. We actually had the granddaughter of Rube Goldberg, Jennifer George, show up to our event because she was so impressed with what we were able to put on. And again, I couldn't say it enough. The look of the parents, the students, it's just to know that your children can do it, and then to see them do it, it's just that moment of pride that really comes across their face. And you saw the video, you can't explain it. Parents that are here, and if you see them coming, it's just ear to ear. So without further ado, Kusera, the middle school winners.
Quick note that Miss George came all the way from New York.
Yep. Oh, wow. There are a couple of pictures of the Kusera team with our beloved Mr. Boggs, who was an amazing leader for our students and guides them in a lot of everything. And his biggest support, Mrs. Boggs, was texting me all day, letting me know, like, we won, we won, we won. She was so excited about the event. So I'm really glad that our students had this opportunity. Just wanted to share with you a little bit how our team came together at Kusera. At Kusera, we really are focused on increasing our engagement with students through interest and rigor. And so Rub-a-thon really taps into both of those pieces by, allowing students to engage in really rigorous instruction through something that they're highly interested in. And so our team name was the Coyote Contraptions, and they were made up of 5 7th graders, Tree Dieppe, Mia Carrillo, who won our the science fair, by the way, for our student. Mia is an amazing young lady. Bianca Ruvalcaba, Matthew Reynoso, and Carter Harema. And to prepare for the competition, they actually had been working together for several weeks during lunch, and they had been learning about the history of Rube Goldberg. They studied simple machines, energy, and work. They were guided through the rules and constraints of the competition, so Mr. Boggs provided quite a bit of support on how the competition was going to be. Students also looked at the possible supplies they would be given on the day, because again, as Dr. Sweeney stated, it was when they showed up, it was then they were given all of the information and the materials that they would have for the event. So they looked at possible supplies, and they brainstormed ways on how they could be used in simple machines. So they came up with ideas and strategized ahead of time on ways in which they would, build their contraption once they got to the competition. The coaches were not allowed to instruct or guide students during the competition. They worked exclusively as a student-led team to successfully complete the required task, which I think says a lot about, them coming together. It's a true testament of, them supporting each other in this process as well, not even just learning about how to build the contraption. So, thank you. I believe we have
Thank you, Ms. Cuevas. And so, yes, we have Myers Scholars and their teacher, Ms. Kathleen Shrillref. And there were, those 19 schools were from across the region. They were not just Rialto Unified. So that's why it's such a big deal that, like I said earlier, Rialto did such a great job.
All right, Myers. Woo.
really good.
All right, so this is the front of the machine. I don't know if you want to come around, but this is our Myers Elementary School. We're very proud of our engineering team. We are the Super Myers Bros. We have our wonderful storyteller, Eduardo Racema, right here. Go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for having us here, board members and superintendent too. Hi y'all. Okay, so hello from Myers Elementary. This is our presentation that we won first place and pupil choice. Yeah, so this is Benny, our project manager. Hi Benny, don't drop it. This is Jesus, our storyteller. This is Jonathan, our builder, and Emily too. And me, I'm a storyteller.
Victoria is absent.
Yeah, she's gone. I don't know why.
Right.
Drop it, please. Thank you.
Hopefully got a little bit of an explanation about the competition, so they had to do this all on site.
Do you want to use the mic to explain
Sure.
it? Or doing something so we don't want that to have to be awesome?
Yeah. So right now, she's just resetting the machine. They did receive all of these materials and tools to build the machine on site at competition. They didn't even know what the task was going to be until they got to the competition. And so they were now just having to reset it to make it run. So hopefully it will open a Lunchable. It takes a lot of patience and teamwork. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. Ready, team?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Myers Scholars. You guys are amazing.
Yes.
Let's take some pictures.
Oh, sure.
Get around. If you're joining us also.
Are our teachers?
Nothing happens without the teachers. Principals, teachers, come on. Principals, teachers.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So proud of all of you. This is great.
Can see, come up front.
We have a nice little
I'm a shorty girl. One, two, three. Amazing.
They were supposed to come up with a story as well.
So story as well.
Is it short enough to say?
So, I don't, Eddie, do you
That's a
remember your
microphone.
story?
Okay, well, congratulations to all our teens, students, parents. Creativity. Okay, so we're going to, as they move their
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And when you think of Rialto Unified School District, you're gonna just automatically think of, excellence, creativity, innovation. Yes, it'll be Stanford and it'll be Rialto USD. That's where you come.
Absolutely. I need to really give kudos to Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Because he probably pulled this off by meeting Miss George through the esports program.
Oh, okay.
And just amazing. He's an amazing teacher.
Yes, he is. Great. So now we're going to move to C.1, public comments not on the agenda. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any items not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We have Michael Montano.
Good evening, everyone in attendance and viewing audience at home. I'm Michael Montano, Rialto resident and educator at Rialto High. First, I'd like to start off with a quote from Morgan Freeman. Challenge yourself. It's the only path which leads to growth. So I came to talk on two things. One, we were given a presentation which was related to the last time I spoke out at the last board meeting, that teachers wanting training, like how to deal with fights and stuff. So I guess we were one of the first schools to get that presentation today, and I had the chance to talk to Derek Harris in the back, and I know there's others that put it on. And I suggested I had to leave the meeting early, which I'll get to in a bit. But I encouraged that they reach out for teacher input going forward, which he said they did after. I had to leave the meeting early because it's the last Wednesday of the month, and time went over 15 minutes after, so that's supposed to be REA time, and I needed to get to our, so if we could be a little mindful of that in the future. Second thing I'd like to address or just give a shout out to is last week I was asked to cover a class, and I covered for one of our special ed classes, and I was just overwhelmed at the amazing job that our aides do. And I was really just couldn't believe all that they do for our students, and think that they really deserved a shout out. So I'm giving it to them now, and I don't think anybody realizes unless you see them the work that they do. So that's it. And we're expected a lot of rain, so leave early, take your time, and it's better to arrive safe than not at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all we have.
Okay. Public comments on the agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We do not have any.
Okay. Comments from the Association Executive Board members, REA, Rialto Education Association.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Tobin Brinker, President of the Rialto Education Association. I want to start by thanking Member Dominguez for joining me last week at the school board dinner that we host through the CTA, through our state union. We had several hundred people attend this dinner. It was new school board members and the presidents of the locals. And the vice president of CTA, David Goldberg, was our keynote speaker. There was a lot of positive energy in the room, and it's really about building a very important relationship, and that's the relationship between our union leaders and our school district leaders that are on our boards. And at the end of the evening, they asked the board members that were present if they had questions. What would they like to know? And one of the questions that was asked was, to put it to the union members, what do you think we should know about what your job is, what's going on in our schools right now? And I got up and spoke, and I want to give you sort of an abridged version of what I said. And what I said was that we're all dealing with trauma, everyone. We're all very aware of the students and the trauma that they have. And I shared a story about an elementary school student who basically had a violent activity in the classroom. And we might call that a tantrum or something like that, but the teacher was affected, right? The teacher was affected. And Unfortunately, what we used to view as a minor incident now becomes something much bigger. And the reason for that is, and you probably all saw the national news story of last month, of a first grader in Virginia, I think it was, who brought a gun and shot a teacher. And so in the past, when a kid acted out in a classroom, we viewed it one way. But now it's internalized differently. And so the teachers are carrying a lot of trauma too. There's this belief, I think, and I see it in a lot of my colleagues, where we're walking around thinking that that could be us one day, that there could be a shooting at our campus, or a kid could do something like that. And I don't know what the validity of it is. I'm just telling you that we're carrying that, and that trauma affects a lot of the things that we do. And so I wanted to make you more aware of that, because we have put in place lots of programs for the kids, but we have a lot of adults that need help too. And I'll start by just saying thank you, because you've engaged with a lot more counseling services for our members. But I think it has to be more than that. We have to talk about the culture on our campuses and how we support each other. And Mr. Montano talked about the training for when fights happen. And there's a lot of anxiety that teachers have about, what do I do when a fight happens? How do I react? What's my responsibility? And if I touch a kid wrong in the middle of trying to break up a fight, or if I don't react enough, and then they say, oh, you just stood by and let this violence happen. So we're dealing with those issues. And so I felt like it was important for me to come here and share with you what I shared at that meeting, so that you're aware that these are issues that matter to my members. As a new president of the union, one of my goals is to raise the profile of my union in the community. So I recently attended the Rialto City Council meeting. I introduced myself to our council members, told them that I was the new president, and said, we want to be involved and engaged in the community. And they surprised me. Typically, and you know this, you don't typically have a lot of conversation back and forth, but they did, and we talked about a few things. One of the things that came up is Councilman Baca, Senior, suggested or said that there would be a meeting of some sort between the school district and the city personnel. And I would be very interested in being a part of that, because my vision is that REA wants a seat at the table. We want to be a partner in making our district better. And to that end, we had our rep council meeting tonight. And at our rep council meeting, I asked my members to write cards to each board member. Now, these cards are not to ask you to do something for us. They're not to lobby you on anything. It's just to introduce you to some teachers at our school and let you know that we have some amazing members in our association with great knowledge and talent, and we want to build relationship. If you want to characterize who I am and what I do as the union president, I want to build relationships. I want relationships with our PTAs. I want relationships with our principals. I want relationships with the broader community. That's why I went to the city council meeting. I want to work with our nonprofits. I want REA to be a part of this community in a bigger and better way, because I believe in the adage that a rising tide lifts all boats. And so we have got to work together to do that. So I have some cards here for you. I did not select who they would write to. Some of you got more cards than others, but please, I hope you read them, and if you get a chance to respond to these people, because they took a minute to write to you, and just to let them know that you received it and that you thank them for that. Can you I've separated them by board members. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, next we'll have CSEA, Communication Workers of America.
Okay,
Okay, good evening, Honorable Board and staff. I am Teresa Hunter with Communication Workers of America. So we are CWA. So we're good. Anyway, we are here this evening to introduce ourselves to any of the newer board members. I don't believe we've met you, yeah? Yeah, I think you're our newest board member.
I'd love to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, and also the newest lead agents, Armando and Roxanne. All righty, okay, and we'll be getting your cards as we leave, okay? Thank you very much. That's about it. We did choose to come out on the wettest evening of the year, like everybody else, and it's all good. You guys take care. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so did I skip California School Board Association?
No, School Employees,
California
CSEA.
School Employees Association.
California School Board
Employees.
Association, California Workers of the America? Right, so. do we-
CSEA.
Okay, I'm just reading what's here, okay? Then we have Rialto School Managers Association.
You missed C,
I've called them like,
CSEA.
It's written as board. There's a
Right.
typo.
yeah. Okay,
We forgive you, Martha.
all right, are you here? I don't see, okay, they're not here. Okay. Everyone was looking out for you. We miss you. Okay, comments from the student board members, not here. Comments from our superintendent.
Thank you, President Lewis. Just quickly, thank you to the Hubanks team that came in, opened up our meeting this afternoon, and also to the winning schools. We've heard them already: Rialto High School, Cusero Middle School, Myers Elementary School, in the first Rub-a-thon competition here in our district. Want to congratulate and encourage two of our sports teams that are headed to the CIF Finals. Carter High School girls soccer team will host Ramona High School this Friday at 5 p.m. for the Division 6 title. And Rialto High School girls basketball team will play Buena Park for the Division 4 AA championship this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Edison High School in Huntington Beach.
All right.
So good luck, Knights, and good luck, Lions. I also want to thank Fasad Raman Davis, Juanita Chad, and the rest of the team that put an amazing program last week in honor of Black History Month. They just created a space that brings us together to rejoice, to celebrate, to acknowledge, and just to have a good time that really symbolizes the community that we're pushing forward and creating more of here in our district and community. So I do want to thank the team for successfully putting together that amazing event where many of us were able to attend. I also want to just thank all of the adults and especially the student performers at the Ritz a week and a half or so ago. And thank you to Sandra Cordasco for coordinating and Ricardo Carlos for receiving that Top Hat Award for going above and beyond. To all the families, the parents that supported their students that allowed us to be able to celebrate in their talents. The event did raise $23,500 that will go into the classrooms. So thank you to all the sponsors and everybody who participated in that amazing event. Also, I want to thank Chic Shoes for supporting our Body Sold, S-O-L-E, like sole of your shoe, and Spirit Sneaker Initiative that I share was created or initiated by our very own Ricardo Carlos as part of our Sharing the Love Foundation.
Amazing.
We raised over $15,000. Chic Shoes donated $9,000 that allowed us to take 66 students, secondary schools, to their store at the Inland Empire Mall. And students were able to select a pair of sneakers of their liking. And it was just amazing to see the gratitude. Many of the students were looking for the different people who made this happen just to say thank you. They were not encouraged or told to go say thank you, but they were looking for the adults. And their sincerity was just something that I really appreciate. Also, I want to remind everyone that we will have our DAPAC, District African American Parent Advisory Council, Black History Month celebration this Saturday from 11 to 2 p.m. at Eisenhower High School. And in a week from Saturday, we will have our second annual Divergent Games at Carter High School from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we are looking at modifying the name for next year's event. And in the future, part of the idea is to include students who do not receive special services so that it's not isolating just special education kids, but we'll make it a district-wide event where they and other students are able to participate in a bigger and better event.
All right.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Next, we'll have Ms. Board Member Dominguez.
Good evening. I think Dr. Avila copied my notes because he said everything I wanted to say. But I do want to thank our Hugh Bank students for their wonderful performance. Our winners for the Rub-a-thon winners. I have never heard of that competition, but it seems amazing and very ingenious and creative and looks like a lot of fun. I do want to extend my congratulations and to the tutoring hubs. They are amazing. I can tell you personally as a parent, they're amazing. They are so helpful. Logan loves them. I'm telling you, that kid just goes for the snacks. He goes just for the snacks. He goes, yes, he'll do the work, but he'll come out with the snack. The Ritz was an amazing event. It was an amazing, amazing event. So I want to thank the parent volunteers, the committees that put on the hard work, and I believe Ms. Aida Joffrey deserves a round and a hand for all of the hard work that she did in organizing and running around in those little heels. She put those little heels to work. For Pepe Serna, he was hilarious and very entertaining. I was also able to participate in the Chic Shoes giveaway that we had at the Inland Center. I was able to help those students find their shoes and experience that VIP experience. I can tell you that those kids schooled me. They schooled me and they taught me what Air Force Ones were and what Jordans were. And they taught me all about shoes, because I gotta know these things for when the kids get older. And I know that the lead agents that were there, we all were responsible and did our mom duties and make sure those shoes fit properly. And we all make sure to, okay, stand up. Okay, where your toes at? Where's your toe at? Okay, you're good. Let's get you a bigger size. Okay, those fit good. Let's go. And if you were there, you could see how humble these kids were. They were like, no, how much are they? No, don't tell them. Don't worry about the price tag. We got it. Don't worry. You like them? Okay, let's go. They were very humble and very deserving. So it was a very humbling experience to these kids to have that VIP experience there at Chic Shoes. So I was very fortunate to be there with them and helping them pick out, the shoes that they wanted. For Child Nutrition Services, the Black History Month celebration, like Dr. Avila said, the ambiance was amazing. Our Pete Aguilar was there. There was great food. There was great student recognition, which is one of the biggest things that we strive in our community, in our district, is having, excellency and making sure that our students thrive. And that's exactly what we did. We highlighted the excellency of our students. And I was also very fortunate to be given some awards to present from our Senator Rosalie Ochoa Bogg. She's a senator of the 23rd District of the state of California, to present to some lead agents of the district, to our board, and
we're not going to present them tonight.
Oh, no, I'm just going to read them off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you want to help me?
No, we're not going to present them.
I'm not presenting them,
Yeah.
just reading them off.
So I don't think we're going to read them off. This is your, no.
Point of order, she has the floor.
Well, no, point of order is we're going to sort of, your comments, we're not going to really present. We have a sort of an avenue to do that, to read that off. And so if the representative, is that representative in the House? Okay, so if the representative was here,
With
we
all
would
due
do that.
respect,
With
President,
all due respect.
you're
this
cutting
is-
her time.
No.
She has the floor.
No.
She gives
you
the floor
know,
back to
I
you
would
when
like
she's
to
done.
present this to Child Nutrition Services.
Okay.
Madam
Okay.
President, I
Wait.
I would agree.
To the Rialto
wait.
Unified School District.
Okay. The representative is not here. If the representative was here, they would come to the podium. We had any from the senators or things like that, they will speak at their 3 minutes, or they will be on the agenda. They're not quite on the agenda tonight, so we're going to move forward.
Okay.
So
With all
to
due
read them
respect, I
out
do
is
have-
you're presenting, and that's not what we're doing, and that's not the protocol. So the protocol is if the representative was here, he would present. If they're not, it will be on the agenda for us to present. or they'll be given to the district, and in the future, they need to be given to the district so we can alleviate this. So if we're going to be together, or anytime someone's handing something out, you're just going to use it during your discussion, which is, I don't think that's the system and it's not correct. So did you have any other comments?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Is
Ms.
it,
President
are
Lewis,
you talking
Ms.
for
Lewis,
your discussion?
Point of order.
No, I have the Roberts rule.
Okay,
And so
and the
we're
point of
presenting,
order is
no. This has gone on. We have been protocol. We will pull that protocol. Now, I think we need to sort of respect.
She's just reading out. She's not going to present them. She's just reading out what they got.
It's not the time and the place. Okay, so if we're not having systems, then we're not having system.
Madam President.
So, no, wait. Okay, so let's sort of table this item, and then we can discuss it.
Madam President, there are
Yes.
3 board members against your 1.
And that's majority.
And
Yes.
I'm not trying to say against. I'm saying we had a system. So let's
Yes, we
just.
had.
Yeah, and you're arbitrarily.
No,
you're
I'm not
arbitrarily
arbitrating.
making decisions
I'm
and
not
setting
making
policy.
decision. I'm setting policy on the 2 previous
You can't do it
year.
arbitrarily.
The 3 years that we've been doing this, I've watched you and all 3 presidents have the representative come to the stand.
When you don't allow it on the agenda, what other option do board members have?
I did follow the chain of command, and I spoke to you about it.
No. So, you know what? I think this is going to be something
We
that
need to work together.
we are working together.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We are.
I am not dealing with personalities. I'm dealing with systems. We're dealing with the system. So if we're going to revisit, because a lot of people get awards, and a lot of people want to hand someone else an award, is that going to be read by whichever board member decide? So this is not a personality, it's a system. And so
There's
the system
nothing
is
wrong with
what
her
I'm
reading
just saying,
what
I'm
it
just
says.
saying the system is from henceforward, if anyone get handed an award, then during your board member, you can read it. Is that the system that we are agreeing to?
No.
Okay?
We have 3
You
board
have the
members
4.
against your 1.
No, I'm saying the system. We're not even voting on anything. Is this the system?
Well, we are.
that
The way that you're
we
presenting it, you're
agreeing
asking for
to?
a vote.
Okay,
No, I'm
no,
just saying, is
hold
this
on.
our system? Because I've watched
Madam
all 3 of
President,
you
I'm
as
going to
president.
honor your position.
Okay.
But please go over Robert's rules.
I've
Because
been
they
over
support-
Robert's rules.
They support the 3 board members.
I may be new, but I do know the rules. I have studied Robert's rules very well.
It's not
detailed.
against me. This is what the president of the system is. So if we're changing the system, I want it to be open, that as any board member get handed something or a certificate or acknowledgement from any department, whether it could be custodial, teacher, union, that we can read it during our discussion time. So this is what we have to think about as our system, okay? Because we can't just identify one department being read and other department get recognitions. If they're gonna hand Ms. O'Kelly a recognition and she wants to read it out at that time, is that what we're doing? Or we're going through a process? That is the issue at hand.
I did follow the process. I called you and I let you know.
And I said that nutrition services was recognized. We have a school district with a lot of departments, that they're all equally important. They had their day. This was later dated. They had their key to the district, and we gave those. As things trickle in from congratulations, which they will, are we going to continue doing this?
And they just won gold again.
And
And
again,
we
I told you that
recognize
it was
that.
not just for nutrition
We recognize
services.
that.
It was for other lead
We
agents of the
recognize
district.
that, but we have to figure out, is this being solicited? Is this being handed? And it's going to be a continual thing.
Madam
That's,
President,
wait,
can we move forward?
Yeah,
wait,
we
move
no. I just
I
wanted
agree.
I want it to
Let's
be
move forward.
clear. I want it to be
Let's
clear.
continue with the people's business.
No. We're going to be clear. And if it's going to be clear tonight, it's going to be clear in our head. And so if this is how we want to carry on, then that's our pleasure. But you can't do 3 or 4 years of having it the other way. So we need to make this clear. This is the way we're going to do it.
If you deny
Wait,
an
wait.
agenda item, then the
No,
board
no,
member
it's
can
not.
either fill out a speaker card and get 3 minutes at the podium, or they can get their time when they have the floor, when it's our turn to speak. You can't jump in and cut board members off when
No,
they have
we're
the
not
floor.
cutting board members.
did
What
cut me
we're
off.
being sensitive to all the departments that make up this school.
We are.
All the departments that make up this
This
school.
is for the Black History celebration.
We had
It's-
the
it was
key
a
to
nice-
this- We
okay.
had the key to the city. We had another event. When people bring in stuff late, we have to recognize
This is
the
for the
school
Black
has
History
so many different
celebration.
departments, and we cannot put one above the other.
This is not
Our
specific to nutrition
education,
services.
it's our education needs to be sort of equally appreciated. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do fairness, and I'm trying to recognize
I think
all
the
the other
board needs
people.
to have this discussion.
I think,
We
no,
can-
we need to
we
have
can
it
do
out
this
here.
later.
No,
Yeah,
we need
we
to
need
have
to
this
discuss
out
this
here
in closed session.
because
This is a closed
we
session this
need
afternoon.
to make sure that we are recognizing all of our value assistants. And when they are given an award or handed something, then if we want to read it out, then we'll read it out to each and every one. So it's not about me, it's about the system of appreciation. I appreciate everybody who contribute to the education. Nutrition is highly profile, but we should not change the rule just for their department.
Can we
They
move
are
forward,
getting a
please?
lot of awards, and we appreciate that. But there's other departments that are just as equal, landscaping, gardening, and all that are unrecognized. And we do not stop to recognize them when they get award. So, let's move on. Yes.
That's what we've been asking.
Well,
Yes.
you know what? I can take all of this, but I'm still going to continue to push for a system that is fair and that will recognize each and every person in the department that touches each and every student.
We tried.
Go ahead.
You want to take a break?
No, we got to go. Are you finished or are you going?
Let me finish. Thank
Okay.
you. Let me get my thoughts together.
Okay, while you're getting them together,
Wait,
did you
wait,
want
wait,
to?
wait, no, no,
Okay,
no,
well, let's
hang on.
move on.
Okay.
Why don't we put this on the closed session agenda for the next meeting, this topic? So we have some
Maybe
Clarity.
have a board-
clarity.
make a
Clarity.
board consensus.
It may be already in policy somewhere. I know it's in Robert's rules.
Okay, so where was I at? Okay, so I would like to thank everybody that was able to join us for the Black History Month Child Nutrition Services, the Ritz, and for making everything possible for Chic Shoes. So let's continue making Rialto thriving and continue to making this district better every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Board Member Montez.
Wow.
Takes me back, brother.
It's all good. We're all here for good reasons. We're all here for good intentions. And one of the things I wanted to talk about coincidentally was personalities. Sometimes we have good people in good departments and good groups and good organizations on a board, on a council. And they're all good people, they all have good intentions, but sometimes the personalities is what stifles moving forward or progress or getting the work that needs to be done completed. It's not that people are bad, it's not that people have malintent, it's just that sometimes, once in a while, our personalities is what hurts us instead of helps us. So I wanted to speak about, I'll touch a little bit about what Mr. Brinker brought to the podium in regards to relations, having relations, focusing on good relations, There are people in the community, in the district, that want to have better relations with not only the board, but the district, with our teachers, with our staff, with our safety and security. And then there are people also within the district that want to have better relations within ourselves, right? I've always believed in an open door policy. There's been times in the past where an open door policy was discouraged. An open door policy was, people were reprimanded or threatened, harassed, regarding people reaching out to the board, regarding people raising concerns or speaking out. And it brings me a lot of pride to know that our superintendent and our leadership are not the type of leaders that are trying to stifle anyone from establishing relations or communication with the board or within each other, right? Now, it's up to each individual board member. If a board member decides to, be inaccessible, sometimes we're busy, sometimes we got a lot of stuff going on. But if a board chooses to be accessible, if a board member chooses to open themselves up to emails, phone calls, text messages, in-person meetings, whatever, that's each individual's member's right. Now, we after 12, 13 years of being on the board, I do believe in a protocol. I do believe in a process. And I do encourage staff members, students, people from the community to reach out to those people that are in that protocol, in that process. If you have an issue at your school site, try to address it with the school site before going to the district office or to a board member. But the beauty about an open door policy is, if you want to go directly to the board, you should be able to. But I would like to still encourage to follow the process and follow the protocol and give people the opportunity to do their job. Give people the opportunity to hear your concerns. But again, those of us who believe in an open door policy continue to advocate for an open door policy. The way I see it is, if nobody's got nothing to worry about, then you got nothing to worry about. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to hide. What bothers me is when people start saying, don't go to the board or you're going to be in big trouble. Don't go to the board because we don't want them to hear about this or hear about that. And we should know these things. We should know what's going on. This is the governing board. We're the governing board. And it's not unilateral. It's not, it's not arbitrary. Not one person, not me, myself, dictates anything. It's us five as a whole. We each have one vote. We each have one voice. We all have a position at certain times. But when push comes to shove, majority rules. And we try as best as we can to do what we can to work with our superintendent and his team and support them as best as possible. And we do support him and we continue to support him. Our superintendent's been here 7.5 years. And he deserves a round of applause. But I do want to say that sometimes we have hiccups. Sometimes we have arguments. Sometimes we have misunderstandings. Whatever the case, this district, with or without me or without any of us, is going to always be here for this community and is going to continue to move forward. Because I've been here 12 plus years, whatever it is. Other board members were here 20 or more. And, I think Mr. Martinez is going to be one of those 20-year board members or more. You know, and it's all good. We're here to work together and try the best that we can to work together and help everybody. But getting back to relations and building relations, I want to thank Mr. Brinker for bringing that topic forward, because that's one of the topics that I wanted to address tonight, was relations and building relations and working relations. And if I'm going to be on the board here and just, you know, not hear from anyone at all, then what am I doing here? You know, but with that said, congratulations to all of the performers from the Ritz, and thank you, Saida, for putting on a wonderful event, and everyone else who took part in it. I want to thank also want to thank all of the people in the committee who helped put this event together, who helped organize it, both current and former members of the committee, because there's a lot of people that have been on the committee for years that are no longer on the committee, or for whatever reason. I want to thank them also, and former committee members. So thank you to the new committee members, and thank you to the former committee members. The Ritz has always been a very well-intended event for a very good cause, and we've had various different hosts. Pepe Serna, Crazy Vato Loco put on a awesome, funny show. He was wonderful. And all of the performers, it seemed like the younger the singers, the better, the stronger the voice. I was like, wow. But honestly, they all sang great. It was an awesome show. And especially the girl in the wheelchair singing the song Hallelujah. Man, I tried so hard to fight back the tears, and they just came out. But everyone sang so beautifully, performed well. It was very, very nicely put together. So thank you to everyone who made that happen. And thank you again to our nutrition services for putting on an awesome Black History celebration at the Dolores Huerta Cesar Chavez Center the past Friday. It was off the hook. It was like a party and a celebration, and academic excellence. It was awesome. So thank you again for them for putting that on, and for everyone that was able to make it. I'm looking forward to trying to make it to the Saturday event if possible. And then again, congratulations to Nutrition Services for now receiving gold in the, is it Turn Up the Beat?
Turn Up the Beat.
Yeah, for their second or third year, they've won gold, and it's a USDA recognized recognition. So kudos to them, and really kudos to everyone. We have many departments in our district, and I know that people on this board and the community care about just as much for all of our departments, and we look forward to all of the great work, and we realize that it's not just one second.
I'm just saying.
Point of order. Point of order.
Shouldn't
be censored.
No, it's not censored. We might have to put on the closed session how long we speak each. We're add that to the agenda too.
Okay, and then thank you again to everyone from all of our district and all of our departments, and again, so proud of that online tutoring, and then the local tutor hub, because a lot of people are benefiting, and a lot more are going to continue to benefit. So with that, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Martinez, Board Member Martinez.
Thank you, Chairwoman and President Lewis. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the public for the lack of decorum tonight. It was pretty ugly. We'll get past it as a board. And beyond that, I want to say thank you to everyone who is on the front lines. And you've heard me say this before, because you've also heard me say this. I view everything as student, staff, and community in that order. So anyone who is for the students, I'm behind, I'm next to, sometimes I'm in front of. And I like all of it, and I appreciate everyone that is totally for the students. And that's mostly everyone here in Rialto, as far as I can tell. I'm concerned tonight with several of the agenda items. I want to say it now so I don't have to say it 4 or 5 times. The dollar amounts are going up. One has 50%, 60%, some 20%. 10% is a given. So I want to make sure that everyone, they are new in positions and they're varied. So it's not just one person not knowing. I want to make sure that it is understood. The board will look at 10% overage, and that's all right. But some of these are asking 20%. Some are 50%. At 20%, at one point, the board had agreed that it was to be brought back to the board, that it was not to be moved forward. Maybe it needed to be rebid. Definitely it needed to be justified. This is public money, and I want to make sure that in a year where the state and federal dollars that are coming in are going to be lean, there's 85% that goes to staff. That means that we give out $100,000, $200,000, $400,000 in one case. That's people. It's either going to be people outside, students and their families. It's going to be, or it could be staff. I want to make sure that I want to, as always, save jobs. I want to make sure that we look at all of that. So I'm going to ask that some of these, if the rest of the board wants to vote them in and passes it, that's up to them. But in my case, I'm either going to vote no or recommend that they be brought back if there's no timeline on it. And by brought back, I'm saying after the May revised. So we're really looking at first of the year. So if there's no timeline, the fiscal year that is, if there's no emergency timeline on it, that's one thing. But give us justification. You know, you find something with that needs to be done before the painting. Why wasn't it found earlier? Just saying things that other board members have said in the past. So with that, there's been enough said from my end. So, Madam President, back to you.
Thank you. Okay, Vice President O'Kelly?
Yes, I just want to emphasize again what a great couple of weeks we had with the events in the district. The Black History celebration was, first of all, it was absolutely beautiful. The way they did up that bistro and everything, it was so beautifully decorated. I missed a lot of the stuff at the beginning because I had a late doctor appointment, but I was so happy when I got there that it was as wonderful as it was. So that was number one. And the Ritz, of course, goes without saying because I love that every year. That's like one of my very, very favorite events. And to watch all the kids perform, it, like Edgar said, it brings tears to your eyes. So I want to say I'm very happy for that. I'm looking forward to the things that will be coming up. And I'll be done for tonight so we can move on.
Okay. Thank you, Vice President Kelly. Well, I'm excited about the Divergent Games. And when we go back, Ricardo, congratulations on your top hat.
Yes.
You know, and you do so much. But when you think about, I like to call Atlas, you know, other people call special needs, but usually Atlas is more because of strength. And when we saw the Ritz, you didn't see, you saw all age group, And when you think of a person who has any type of non-typical look or behavior, they're not separated at home. They're not separated at Stater Brothers. They're not separated anywhere else but school. And this is our last frontier of segregation. So when we look at playground equipment and remodelize, we need to think about having all abilities able to utilize the same. I remember back when I first was bringing my son, and they put him, in the back, and I'm like, he can't even play with other kids on their equipment, and it was a fence, and it's very heartening. So as we look to remodel our schools and playground equipment, make sure it's inclusive for everyone. Just like the talent show, I'm sure the parents is like, hey, I'm not in a special need talent, I am the talent show, and that's inclusive. And then Edgar, it was very nice of you with the lady who she was on the walker and she couldn't go to the snacks, and you brought her the hors d'oeuvres. So when we think about food and location, you have to think about someone on a, on a walker, or wheelchair, or a kid on crutches, or whatever. The location. Do we have a dining area for that? Even if people with small kids. And the other thing was another couple was so gracious to move their seat because she needed that leg room. And so when we're planning our facilities, this is the mind of being inclusive, of having that leg room, having the harder seat so you can get up, and having maybe a section where you have wider. So that's the mindset of being inclusive. And I just want our parent center to really take advantage of all the parents that will be coming to the Divergent game to have a survey set up. So they can say the strength, the weakness, what are the needs? Because right there, our parent center should have, where you can sort of have the survey monkey, what things we can do better, what are some of your issues, and not just for the parents, for some of our aides, for our teachers, put their issues on that survey, because then we'll capture a large cross-section of the population. And so this is what we're really thinking about, your abilities count. I just have to say, in the community, our profile of Rialto Unified School District is really, really positive. I have sort of talked to, in my talk, I say, hey, Rialto Unified School District, some chiropractor want to come and share their discipline, the dentist, oh yeah, I would like to share it to the young people. So they're ready to partner with us. And it's that positive vibe. Also like to mention, we have 911 for emergency, but the 988 is our suicide and mental health. And, the nation is really wanting us to utilize the 988 number. So if you're having suicide or crisis, that's the lifeline number that really should be posted, should be available to our staff too. If you're having a major crisis, you can call 988. So this is what, we're really talking about. I'm about having, a system in place, a system to follow, because people come and go. And so it's a system that sort of have some type of order. I think to have good dialogue and to have good debate, and no matter what format, I welcome it. And I stand up to it and I listen to it, but we will, at the end of the day, we will come out of it with a system that we can all agree upon. So I don't think it's nothing to be ashamed about. I think that people need to voice what they have, and we'll have the system, but we're about to school education, and I want to stress that every apartment in this school district and this community, crossing guards, in any type of institutions, you have high profile, people who are very visible. The department's teachers and, nutrition, you see, but that's behind the scenes people that sometimes the warehouse and those type of things is the assistant, that substitute. Their visibility is not heightened. And we see you and we appreciate you, and we want to make sure that there's no one above and there's no one below. But our teachers do educate our kids. And so the support that they get in the support system is all about the education. And I'm so proud of our tutoring system, and ready for us to sort of merge. And I do want to, I've never been in I guess I've been in a union a couple times, but I would like to attend some of the union meetings on all levels, if invited, to let me know so I can plan the schedule. So with that, Martha?
Okay, thank you, President Lewis. We're gonna move on to public hearing. We have public information. Second quarter Williams report, October through December, fiscal year 2022-2023, and can be found on page 34. Then we'll move on to consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual vote.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Those will be approved as amended and read by President Lewis at the beginning.
Okay. How do you vote, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis, aye.
Okay, we move on to discussion action items. Item F1, award bid number 2223005 for district-wide flooring phase 1 to Mike's Custom Flooring, Inc. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Award bid number 2223005 for district-wide flooring phase 1 to Mike's Custom Flooring, Inc. for a total cost not to exceed $903,325,000, which includes a $250 allowance.
$250,000.
$250,000. Thank you. Allowance for unforeseen conditions and to be paid from the Deferred Maintenance Fund 14. Any discussion?
Is there, do you have a
Lots.
discussion? Okay.
Lots.
Go ahead.
This is one of the ones that I have trouble with. Let's see, total cost not to exceed 903, which includes $250,000. That looks like about 30% increase. Again, 10% is normal, 20% in the past has been rebid. So what's the justification in doing this without moving it through the board? And there's several others.
Staff,
Diane.
would you like to speak?
We included a $250,000 allowance because it's work to be done at 4 different schools. What we've encountered in past flooring projects is you have a lot of unforeseen repairs that have to be done, whether that be the replacement of the subfloor, whether that be humidity that is coming up from the subfloor, and you have to, add an additional protective layer so that your new floor that's installed is not damaged. And so, working off of the experience of the past, we know that this is a reasonable allowance, and it is only acted on if we have those events. If we don't, then it's just the base price. Can I also add that the funding that is being used for the flooring and the paint is specifically earmarked for deferred maintenance projects. This funding has to be reinvested back into our schools and would not be available for a different use.
Understood and greatly appreciated. This is public money, and it'll be up to the board, but if they find subflooring problems within 10%, it's understood, per school even, that would give you a larger discretion of 40%, but if it's done by school, 10%, I'd like to see it back myself, because this is not my money, it's public money.
Any further?
That's it.
Anyone else?
What happens if there is no damage needed and that 10% wiggle room is not used and that money goes back? Do we just lose it?
No, if we don't have legitimate use for the use of the allowance, then the allowance is not paid out to the vendor. The
Okay.
allowance was only with the approval of the district.
Okay, but you're saying that it's only good for that, and after that we can't use it for anything else.
I guess, let me clarify. So if If we complete the project and no change order is required to address any issues, then the district doesn't have to spend those $250,000, and that funding can be used for a different project.
Okay. And then
It doesn't get paid out unless we have to.
Oh, so the money doesn't expire, you can say?
No.
Okay.
No, no, no.
And then, when was the last time the flooring was changed? Do we know, or has it been a while?
I have been here 12 years, and this current year is the first time we've done flooring at Carter High School.
Okay.
I don't recall any other large project as such.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
Is there a, is this item a time-sensitive item?
It is timely because we have to schedule the work. And so because we have to work around our school calendar, there's very limited times when the vendors can come in and do the installation. So to schedule the work is a complicated process, and it gets scheduled out months in advance.
Okay, so for the amount of 250,000 allowance, this is to avoid a change order, correct? That you guys are asking for the
Right, it
250
gives the
to avoid having to bring it back, for a change order. Mr. Martinez, is there a certain amount other than the 250,000 you think would be reasonable that we could approve tonight, and then if they need a change order, they can bring it back as a change order for additional funds?
We are actually setting a different precedent then.
Right.
Which is fine. But I just want the public and the board to understand that it's been 10%, and at 20%, then it has to be rebid. So I'd be okay as long as when something is found, it comes back to the board for final authorization.
Or a change order?
Yeah, or a change order, sure.
I think the change order, the previous way of doing these items, I think is probably a little more transparent.
Good word.
So maybe or just the percentage of the allowance for it to be smaller, and then if you need additional change orders, you can bring those back. But I think what Mr. Martinez would like to see is, hey, if that much amount of money more, percentage money more is needed, we want to see it on the agenda. And, that's why I'm suggesting going back to the former way of doing it. But however, I'm good with either way, but I understand.
So the motion first and second.
Wait, do we want to make an amendment to change the amount, or?
If it would help you vote one way or another, that's fine. As is, I cannot support it.
Okay.
And I really don't have an amendment other than the request I said to bring it back to the board if it's over 10%.
Okay, so the motion's on the floor for the first and second. Okay, are we ending discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to make an amendment that we approve the item with a 10% allowance, and then if we need to do above 10% allowance, we just bring it back through change orders. Would that work, Ms. Romo?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and repeat the motion with amendment.
So
I
the
have a question.
request,
Yes.
I have a question. If there's a change to the order, would the board be okay to ratify to not disrupt the flow of the work that's needed? Or do you prefer to approve it and then change the possible schedule of the work that needs to be done?
No, they can proceed with the work. It's just changing the amount of the allowance. So anything passing.
But I don't think the allowance wasn't in here.
Yeah,
That's sort of
it's
like
250,000. That's what
says
Mr.
right there,
Martinez's concern
allowance
was.
for
the amount.
unforeseen. What you were stating is that's only you would come back if it was over 2%.
10%.
10%, right?
We would come back if the overall total accumulated change would be above the 250,000. So if across all 4 schools, the change orders or the unforeseen expenses exceeded 250, then we would come back to the board.
Right. So clarify your motion with it, Mr.
Yeah, so I'm making an amendment I make a motion to amend the item to change the 250,000 to, which is currently, how much percent? Is it 30% or?
No.
What was that? Is it?
It's close to 30%.
Between 25 and 30.
Okay, so I'd like to change it to 10% allowance for unforeseen conditions, and then if the more than 10% is required to complete the work, it can be brought back as a change order or a ratified item.
Okay, so Martha, can you repeat it back so we can take another motion in a second?
Okay, so if I understand correctly, the amendment would be to replace the $250,000 allowance with a 10% allowance. Correct?
Is that correct, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, I would vote for it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
I still need some clarification.
Yes.
Let's say that the 10% is exceeded.
Mm-hmm.
The contractor will stop because we don't have the allowance. We have to come back to board. And my question is, would the board be okay with ratifying whatever the excessive amount is? Or do we stop the work, bring it back to the board, and then have to reschedule because that will break
Right.
their schedule?
Right.
So that's my question regarding the 10%.
And I'd like to point out, we're going to have the same problem on the next item.
Exactly.
True.
I guess what the problem is that I understand the timeline. I understand that we want to proceed with the work. 10% over, was the original? 750? No, 650. 650,000-ish?
No, the
No.
amount for this, for item
It was,
F1, the amount is $903,305.
But that includes the 250.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 250 under.
Minus.
Yeah, so we're like
Subtract it.
653 roughly. So 10% of that should give them plenty of leeway over 4 schools. If you're into school number 2 or 3 and you see that it's definitely a problem, there's plenty of time to come back to us.
Yeah, you just bring it back to request additional funds.
Because
For
the way
those
this
projects.
is, you've got 4 schools to work with, and that's 10%, which, should really work.
I think it'll be cleaner since you have the same issue on F1 and F2. Let's sort of, is this the blanket 10% on all these other items? So we can sort of.
That's part of the problem, because that has been it historically.
Mhm.
And if we're going to continue, that's fine. If we wish to move it to 20%, not be the time to do it. As long as the public knows what's going on, I just want to make sure the public hears justification for it.
Okay.
Because, again, it's deferred maintenance. We could actually use some input on, because it comes around so rarely anymore. For the new board members, they'd probably, and for the public especially, they would benefit from knowing what is deferred maintenance. It's basically like money you're saving to fix your house.
Yeah, these
on a
schools are
larger
old.
scale.
That's what concerns me,
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
The other thing too is if 10% has been the norm, perhaps a higher percentage rate, some kind of an increase would be appropriate.
Yes, with
Given
inflation.
inflation.
With
Given
inflation.
inflation, yeah.
Supplies.
So,
So for F1, we're going to amend the motion. And how do we vote, Ms. Dominguez?
what are we amending
Well,
it to?
what's
The
the way
10
amending?
The
yes.
10%, that was the motion on the floor,
But
correct?
didn't we just
10%
discuss
allowance.
The
Yeah,
10%
for a 10%
allowance.
Just
allowance.
10% allowance?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the motion on the floor.
Okay, so, I.
If anything else, if any additional unforeseen conditions arise and
Then it'll be
more,
ratified?
then, yeah, it can be ratified or it can be brought back as a change
So,
order.
just for clarification, like Dr. Avila said, so are we gonna tell the vendor, okay, we're gonna reschedule and leave the floor halfway done, or?
Ms. Romo, could you help clarify, please?
I think what we'll do is we'll schedule enough time in between projects so that we can monitor the progress. And if we see that the allowances are higher than anticipated, then we can bring that to board prior to, say, the second or third or fourth job.
Exactly.
To give us
That
time
would
for,
work.
Okay.
for approval.
Okay, perfect, perfect, 'cause that was my concern. Okay, so we're good.
Okay, are we ready for the roll call?
Yes.
Okay, one final reading, so everyone can be clear.
Okay, so award bid number 22-23-005 for district-wide flooring phase 1 to Mike's Custom Flooring Inc. for a total cost not to exceed $903,000.
That would have to be modified.
Yes, to modify that to include a 10%
718?
amendment allowance.
Is that what, Ms. Romo, is that close? 718,000?
Do we want exact amounts?
We should.
10% of that should be.
For us to have the correct figures, I
Where's
think
our-
it might
where's
be
our-
best to table this so we can get the
No,
exact,
we
or are you
can-
calculating
we
it now?
Can we get those now? The base and then the 10% of that base, whatever that is, to replace the 903 and the 250.
10%, 90.
Put your math hat on.
Here we go.
It's too late.
It should be like 90,000.
About 900 minus 250 would be 700.
It's like almost 90,000.
Yeah. So that plus 10%.
I think we need to just get the total out of there.
Yeah, and subtract it.
Put it as a
10% increase.
Well, 3 tends to complain we need a total.
Okay.
Got it. It's 10% is 65,330.
So I'm gonna start for a total cost not to exceed $653,000 and $305,000 with the 10% increase of $65,330 for a total cost not to exceed $718,635 allowance. Sorry,
Diane, is it
$718,635 allowance.
kind of allowances?
Yeah.
I think the issue or the experience has been that our schools are so old and so outdated
Why don't you pull it
that
up?
we have to do a lot of repair work before we can actually get to discuss.
Eisenhower is not old.
Okay. All right, let's get back on track. So are we ready for the roll call vote? We have the exact figure. Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez? Martinez?
Happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while.
Okay, absolutely, aye.
Okay, Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Stephanie Lewis, aye. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead to F2.
Now, this is the same kind of.
They're working on the numbers now.
They're working on the math, okay. Okay, go ahead, Martha.
Okay. Award bid number 22-23-006 for district-wide painting phase 1 to Tony Painting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay.
Are we doing the
If we got
10% for this one as well?
No, he has to make the amendment after she reads it.
Award bid number 22-23-006 for district-wide painting phase 1 to Tony Painting for a total cost not to exceed. So I'm gonna read.
Read it now so that it
And
can
then
be
we'll have to
amended,
go
'cause it's already
discussion
on the
amended,
agenda.
yes.
Got it.
Mhm.
Not to exceed $600,000 to $550,000, which includes a $250,000 allowance for unforeseen conditions and to be paid from the Deferred Maintenance Fund. 14.
Okay, discussion or amendment?
Same item. If we could change the 250 to 10% of the 602 minus the 250. And maybe in the future, write it as a base amount with 10% overage instead of 250.
Okay, Martha, are you ready to, any other discussion or add to the amendment by anyone?
Are we going to do the same monitoring process and do it one by one and slowly? Okay.
Okay, Martha, can you read it with the amendment and the new figures, please?
Correct. Award bid number 22-23006 for district-wide painting phase 1 to Droney Painting for a total cost not to exceed $352,550. Sorry, which includes an allowance of $35,255 for unforeseen conditions, for a total cost not to exceed $387,805 and to be paid from the Deferred Maintenance Fund 14.
Are you gonna have the 10% in there?
Yeah,
That's
that's a 35, 25. Okay, are we ready for the roll call? Any further discussion? Okay, so we're going to approve with the amendment. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Stephanie Lewis, aye.
Okay.
F3.
Step 3. Agreement with Hot Dogger Tours and doing business as Gold Coast Tours and H&L Charter for extracurricular and auxiliary transportation support services on as-needed basis. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an amendment to the agreement C23000286 and C23000285 with Hot Dogger Tours doing business as Gold Coast Tours and H&L Charter for the provision of transportation services for extracurricular events and ancillary student transportation support services on an as-needed basis, effective February 23rd, 2023 through June 30th, 2023, at a total amendment cost not to exceed $54,000 payable to each vendor. Total combined amendment cost of $108,000 to be paid from the general fund, associated student body, parent organizations, and other donations.
Any discussion on the items?
The same. This is a 50% increase as I read it.
No, that's because there's two vendors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was last year's cost?
Derek?
Sorry to wake you.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Avila, viewing audience, Derek Harris, lead agent with Risk Management and Transportation. So on August 10th, we came before you and asked for your approval for 4 vendors at a cost of $45,000 each, not to exceed. So there are only so many vendors that are offering charter services. All districts are looking for experiences outside of the normal classroom setting, lots of social and emotional trips and different things that need to be responded to. So with a few players, a lot of different districts are pulling from the same vendors. So tonight, we're asking only for the 2 vendors to be increased by that, and it is double. And we're asking for only 2 vendors instead of the 4 vendors because the other 2 vendors are so maxed out and booked that they're not even available for us. So what you're actually seeing is the amounts that we would have spread over 4 vendors only being spread over the 2 vendors. And that is to respond to pending field trips that we already have, that without additional funding, we would have no choice but to start canceling some of the field trips.
Okay, that explanation I can live with. Okay.
Any other questions?
Professional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Glad I woke up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and Stephanie Lewis, aye.
Okay, we move on to F4, agreement with MAN Infocom Inc. doing business as Helios Ed for the district personnel system. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Okay.
Approve an amendment to the agreement with MAN Infocom Inc. doing business as Helios Ed to increase the amount by $10,000 for an updated not to exceed amount of $307,940,000 through the term of the 5-year contract and to be paid from the general fund.
Do we have any discussion on this item?
No, just a comment. I can live with this.
Oh, okay. Any further discussion? Are we ready for the roll call? Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis? Aye.
Item F5, agreement with various vendors for the district's Divergent Games athletic event. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an amendment with various vendors to provide food and entertainment at Rialto's Divergent Games on Saturday, March 4th, 2023, increasing the cost by $10,200 for a total cost not to exceed $60,200 effective February 23rd, 2023, and to be paid from the district general fund.
Do we have any discussion or comments? Questions? Ready for the vote? Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Stephanie Lewis? Aye.
Item F6, agreement with Open Arms. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an amendment with Open Arms, WOA, to provide outreach and supportive housing services to Rialto Unified School District families, increasing the cost of the contract by $105,000 for a total cost not to exceed $245,000, effective February 23rd, 2023 through June 30th, 2023, and to be paid by the district general fund.
Is there any discussion, questions, or comments?
Please.
Okay, Mr. Martinez?
How many families are we talking?
It was 28 that has been temporarily, and they agreeing it. It's on page 113.
Yes, it's in the rationale. We've doubled the amount of families. And so, let's see real quick, from 32 to 70 families.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting at. If you knew we had to go all the way through June, why did we overspend?
No, we just saw an increase in need of families.
There will always be, though.
Correct.
This one really pulls at my heartstrings, but we're talking another 245 total, so another 110. That's within the, well, that's high, but.
The challenge is, if I may, Mr. Martinez, is that many of the families, become homeless unexpectedly. And so it's hard for us to anticipate how many families. We can base it on last year's numbers, but we know that sometimes those conditions change, and we have to make that adjustment to continue to support our families.
Okay, and what I struggle with is if what I'm hearing from the state and the legislative accounting office is accurate, then this is really making a decision. Are we spending it on students and families for housing, or are we going to save jobs? And that is my big concern, because it's a general fund that we're talking. So it's a matter of philosophy. I've always been here, and it served me well. Students, staff, then community, which would automatically say the students need teachers, they need bus drivers, they need everything that a school is designed to offer. And are we in the home care business? That's really my concern, because it's going to be, there's another one in here for even more, for a total of $400,000. I know that families will always need housing, and we're trying to do the best we can, but I just don't want to come back and then all of a sudden in May, when we have to get all the information out to our employees, our staff, family, I don't want to hear that we're going to have to make any cuts or anything because of things like this. That is my main concern.
And I'd like to give input as we take on the holistic nature of the child, because we're not housing families without children within our school district. And we have breakfast in the classroom to benefit our students so they can learn. We have tennis shoes. You know, we have the clothes closet for kindness, and the basic is shelter. If, you know, we do what we can, and I think it's sort of part of the Rialto kindness philosophy and the mission. And this is not a long term. We're not buying houses, but I think as a district, and we're getting Title I funds, and we're getting a lot of funds in foster care, because some of these students are not with the family. They are sort of like emancipated that needs to. So when I guess I don't have, it's not either teacher or thing. I think this makes the teacher's job easier. I think it makes the student job easier. Go ahead.
And also, if I might add, I understand the issue of focusing or not focusing on the housing, but as students become displaced, they're likely to leave our district, which means that those students are not in the classroom, or they stop attending school, which means they're not in the classroom. So I think technically they probably, by us keeping them in school, they probably pay for the cost through ADA for the district.
Ms. Dominguez?
Yes, are we doing anything, yes, we're housing them, but are we doing anything for these families to help them find housing within our city, so that way they can stay here?
So part of the process is that we are providing those type of supports and education as well, so that they can then move and be self-sustainable.
Okay.
But part of the funding, this funding is actually earmarked through our LCAP. This was approved to be able to provide these funds to support families.
And then it's not on this one, but the second one is the case management component of it, to answer your question, because I forgot what you call the foster kids or the homeless student.
McKinney-Vento.
Yes, they realize that they needed the case management component, and that's when that was added to help the parents transition out of the not a hotel voucher to nowhere, but to transition out. And so I think they have their numbers
That's what this
of
one
the
is.
people.
That's what
yeah,
this is the
transitioning
support.
part of it.
Are we working with the county? Are we getting any grants for this? Are we just paying straight out of the general fund for this one?
Carol, have Diane talk about funding.
And maybe you can tie these together. Can it be paid out of title funds, Title I or otherwise?
Right, so part of our student demographic that gets reported is our students that are foster youth in McKinney-Vento. So the district receives additional funds for those students, and through the LCAP process, we have to demonstrate that we're offering them services that help them access their education. One of the programs that we started was the access to the hotel so that they would have, secure housing, and then we brought on the contract with Open Arms so that we did have someone who was an expert in connecting them with those different, county services and maybe even private services that can help them get their own housing, get a job, get public assistance, whatever it may be that they need to help them get back on track, making sure that the student has uninterrupted access to their education. So yes, we can. We are actually obligated to show that we have services for these students. We can pay for it out of Title I, but because we're required to meet this requirement through our LCAP, we choose to do it through our LCFF funds.
Any further discussion?
Explain to me again what LCFF fund is.
That's our local control funding formula.
Got it. Okay, got it. Sorry. Still learning the acronyms.
All right, are we ready for the roll call? Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
We haven't, we haven't motioned.
Yes, we did, before the discussion.
Okay. So, aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Stephanie Lewis, aye.
Okay, item F7, agreement with Web Food Service Design for a district-wide food service equipment and kitchen survey. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Go ahead.
Approve an agreement with Web Food Service Design to provide an assessment and specifications for food service equipment and kitchens effective February 23rd, 2023 through February 22nd, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $93,000 and to be paid from the Cafeteria Fund 13.
Is there any questions, discussions, statements?
This is basically the same questions, but I think you've answered them, that it's paid from LCFF funds. No? Okay, please enlighten me.
This contract is for a nutrition services cafeteria specialist.
I was looking at the wrong thing,
Oh, okay.
sorry. Never mind.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Lewis, aye. Okay.
Item F8, agreement with Wood Spring Suites doing business at Cape Town Hotel. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an amendment with Wood Spring Suites doing business at Cape Town Hotel to continue providing an adequate living facility for RUSD unsheltered students, increasing the cost of the contract by $200,000 for a total cost not to exceed $450,000, effective February 23rd, 2023 through June 30th, 2023, and to be paid from the District General Fund.
Any question, discussion, or comments?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr.
Okay,
Martinez.
This money has already been allocated from the LCFF and the general fund, so it's there already to be spent. It's earmarked for this. Okay, that tells me then.
Correct. And through our LCAP process, if we have funds that are not used for these groups of students, they carry over into the next year. So we don't get to use them for a different purpose. They just get moved forward.
Okay.
Any
Thank you.
further? Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis? Aye.
Item F9, 2023 Summer School Program. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve the proposed student eligibility and priority plan, course of study, calendar, and schedule of classes for this year's summer school summer program effective February 22nd, 2023 at a cost not to exceed $1,400,000 and to be paid from the general fund.
Any discussion, questions, or comments? Okay, let's have a vote. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, aye.
Item F10, agreement with Ice Station. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Approve a renewal agreement with Ice Station to provide an adaptive technology differentiated reading program for approximately 1,400 dual language immersion program students enrolled at Bemis, Boyd, Curtis, Dan Garcia, Kelly, Morris, Trapp, and Warner Elementary Schools for the 2023-2024 school year effective July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $52,406 and to be paid from the general fund Title III.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to move forward with the approval as a board for the item. However, I would also like to ask staff for input in regards to, this is a great program. I've used it with my kids and it's a great program. However, I would like to have more inclusivity of of our own talent here in Rialto, as far as as the DLI program grows. Of course, are going step up and getting a grade each year. We should start including our upper grades. For this is a suggestion from one of our community members, having our upper grades coming down and having those conversations with our lower grades, So that way, those kids that do not have the models at home for the Spanish are able to have those conversations and using our own Rialto talents within our own and using our own strengths at home, instead of outsourcing, keeping it all within home. So, but like I said, this is a fantastic program. I absolutely love it. And I know that the kids love it too, because Logan loves it. So,
Do staff want to address any of those
I'll
issues?
I'll just say that I think it's a wonderful idea. We'll definitely look into that, and I'll report back to Dr. Avila so we can let you guys know.
I mean, even I know that the high schools have AP Spanish, right?
Correct.
It's a great practice for them too, or even our native speaker Spanish, correct? It's great practice for them, and it's great practice for our younger kids that don't have that model at home. That Spanish model at home.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. Ms. Dominguez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis, aye.
Item F11, agreement with Curriculum and Associates, LLC. Do we have a motion?
So moved. A second.
Approve a renewal agreement with Curriculum and Associates, LLC to support the effective monitoring of approximately 5,253 English learners through the platform and professional development effective July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $64,918.75 and to be paid from the General Fund, Title I.
Is there any comments, questions, discussion? We're ready for the roll call vote. Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And aye.
Sorry. Item F12, agreement with Village Life Education. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an agreement with Village Life Education to provide 15 hours of mathematics professional development for all math teachers in grades 6 through 8, after school and demonstration lessons during summer school to the middle schools, effective April 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2023 at a cost not to exceed $75,000 and to be paid from the general fund.
Is there any comments, questions, or discussion? Are we ready for the roll call? Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, aye.
Item F13, agreement with Linked Learning Alliance. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Approve an agreement with Linked Learning Alliance to provide asset mapping communication services effective March 6, 2023 through June 30th, 2023 at a cost not to exceed $65,000 and to be paid from the general fund.
Any discussion, questions, or comments? Okay, roll call vote. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis, aye.
Okay, item F14, board, you should have received this ballot in your packets. 2023 ballot for CSBA Delegate Assembly. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
The Rialto Unified School District Board of Education votes for the following delegates to the California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly. Candidates, vote for no more than 6 candidates, denotes incumbent.
Comment?
I believe we're going to vote for the slate, all 6.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any discussion or anything?
No.
Okay.
I think Mr. Martinez had something for discussion.
Just that, basically what the president said, that we accept the slate as written.
Okay, vote by board member, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms.
Aye.
O'Kelly? Ms. Lewis, aye.
Okay, item F15, resolution number 222339, National School Breakfast Week. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Adopt resolution number 2223, and it should be 39, I apologize, just like the backup. to proclaim March 6th through March 10th, 2023 as National School Breakfast Week and encourage all citizens to recognize the efforts made by schools, their food service administrators, and cafeteria staff to ensure the health, safety, and success of our children.
And I think this is great. Not only do we have breakfast, we have it in the classroom. And we like to thank our nutritional service, our transportation who provides all the equipment, and the whole team that put together. We thank our teacher for allowing that to take place in their classroom and making that extra time for it. Any other comments?
I'd also like to recognize our custodians who have to pick up everything.
Yes, yes. Any other comments? Okay. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis, aye.
Item F16, resolution number 222342, authorizing the increase of the existing board members' monthly stipend by 5% pursuant to section 35120E of the Education Code for the 2023-2024 school year. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Comment?
Comment?
Didn't we already do this August, September?
Well, we did it last year for this past school year, which expires on June 30th. So this will be for the coming school year.
Okay, for the coming, that's fine.
Correct. Adopt resolution number 222342, authorizing the increase of the existing board members' monthly stipend by 5% effective July 1, 2023, pursuant to section 35120E of the Education Code.
Any further discussion or questions, comments? Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, aye.
Item F17, administrative hearings. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Case numbers 222352 and 222345.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, Ms.
Clarification, I want to vote one way on the first two numbers and the rest of them another way. So, and I'm looking at the sheet which I left in closed session.
Do you have your numbers, or he's going to get it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's retrieving.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so the case number 222352 and 222345. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Nay.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis? Aye. Okay.
Item F18, stipulated expulsions. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And these are the case numbers 222356, 222355. Any discussion, questions? Are we ready for the roll call vote?
Vote.
Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis? Aye.
Item F19, reinstatement of expulsions. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Case number 222333.
Any discussion? Okay, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Lewis? Aye.
Okay, we move to adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on March 8th, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John Casalunas Education Center at 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the superintendent's office. Do we have a motion?
So move. Second. All righty, Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Mr. Montez?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
And Ms. Lewis, aye, 9:53.